Hey everyone, I'm Chihiro.
I'm Ryan. As I said in English, if you weren't running late, we'd get more done.
In this lesson, you will learn how to postpone an arrangement.
This conversation takes place on the telephone.
This conversation is between Teddy and Drew.
The speakers will be speaking casually.
Okay, let's listen to the conversation.
Hello?
Hey Teddy, it's me. Look, can you pick me up at 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock? I'm running a little late.
Sure. Why? What's the holdup?
I need to get a haircut.
A haircut? Why couldn't you go earlier today?
I would have gotten one earlier if I'd woken up on time. I didn't hear my alarm clock ring and I slept in. When I woke up, it was in pieces on the floor. I need to get a new one now.
You never were a morning person. Alright, so I'll pick you up at 8:30. Just don't get the same haircut as the last time you were here.
Actually, that's exactly what I was gonna do. I'm glad to hear that you liked it.
Yeah, sure.
Later.
So Ryan, are you one to be early or late?
I usually arrive just on time.
Well, that's a good thing. It's always nice to tell the person that you are running late. In the United States, business meetings and formal gatherings may have a strict time schedule, and lateness is not usually acceptable.
But if you're going to be late, then it's definitely better to notify somebody. However, between friends, people may find it normal to wait over half an hour to have somebody pick them up, especially if you're waiting at your house. It's always nice to know just how late somebody will be, though. That's why Drew tells Teddy beforehand.
Okay, so Ryan, would you notify somebody if you would, say, be about 10 minutes late?
Of course, it's always nice to let them know.
Let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. The first word is
To pick up.
to get somebody or something.
To pick up. To pick up.
Next we have
Hold up.
delay.
Hold up. Hold up.
Now we have
Haircut.
act of cutting or trimming the hair.
Hair cut. Haircut.
Up next is
To run late.
to be behind schedule.
To run late. To run late.
Now we have
Glad.
feeling of joy, happiness.
Glad. Glad.
Next,
Alarm clock.
time showing device with a device that sounds at a time set by somebody.
Alarm clock. Alarm clock.
Up next is
To sleep in.
to sleep more than intended to sleep past the time you wanted to wake up.
To sleep in. To sleep in.
And finally,
In pieces.
broken into small parts.
In pieces. In pieces.
Let's take a closer look at the usage for some of the phrases from this lesson.
The first phrase is,
Running a little late.
this doesn't mean that the person speaking is jogging, but rather that the person is behind schedule.
You can use it when you want to tell somebody that you are not going to be able to do something at the agreed time. Even if you are very late, you can still use little with a tone that indicates that you're not just a little late, but very late.
The next phrase we'll look at is when Teddy says that Drew is not a morning person. What this means is that Drew does not get up well in the mornings. If you're not a morning person, you can be grumpy, moody, or just hate getting out of bed in the morning.
And if you're not a morning person, you might be a night owl, which means that you stay up late and prefer to do things at night. So, listeners, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Let us know.
The focus of this lesson is the third conditional. We talked about the second conditional in the first lesson and the first conditional in the fourth lesson of this intermediate series. In this lesson, we will talk about the third conditional.
By using the word if with a certain grammar structure, we can talk about things that were possible before but are no longer possible now. In other words, we are talking about something that will never be. We often use it to express regret or to criticize.
Drew says,
I would have gotten one earlier if I had woken up on time.
Here, he's talking about a past situation, which is that if he had awakened on time, by now he would have had a haircut. However, he didn't, so he's telling Teddy his excuse as to why he doesn't have a haircut.
The construction is the if statement with a past perfect construction, and the then statement with would plus a present perfect statement, which means the verb have plus the past participle. If you want, you can also switch the order of this sentence around.
Okay, so if you don't know already, you need to really know the past participles of your verbs.
Definitely. Okay, Chihiro, can you give us an example of that construction? In other words, so it's in plain words?
Of course. For example, if I had woken up on time, I would have gotten one earlier.
So the
If I had woken
is the if statement with the had woken making the past perfect construction, and the
I would have gotten one earlier.
is the would plus the present perfect statement.
Hope that explains the construction. Now, a little tip on pronunciation. The word would often gets contracted in a sentence construction. So, for example, a sentence like,
If I had known, I would have been careful.
can be contracted in two ways. The first way is,
If I'd have known, I would have been careful.
with the I had and would have contracted to I'd and would've. Or,
If I'd known, I'd have been careful.
in that one, the I had is the same contraction, but in the second part, the I would has been contracted to I'd. The thing to be careful here is to know that this contraction is not I had, but I would.
You'll be able to know this by the sentence construction, although the pronunciation is the same.
Right. Let's give a few more examples before we finish here.
Okay, how about if he'd practiced, he would have been better.
They would have been hungry if they hadn't eaten.
The one that Chihiro gave is the same construction, but in a negative form.
Okay, good job, everybody. I think that's enough for the grammar point today. Okay, everybody, that just about does it for today.
Okay, bye for now.
See you all soon.
Hello?
Hey Teddy, it's me. Look, can you pick me up at 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock? I'm running a little late.
Sure. Why? What's the holdup?
I need to get a haircut.
A haircut? Why couldn't you go earlier today?
I would have gotten one earlier if I'd woken up on time. I didn't hear my alarm clock ring and I slept in. When I woke up, it was in pieces on the floor. I need to get a new one now.
You never were a morning person. Alright, so I'll pick you up at 8:30. Just don't get the same haircut as the last time you were here.
Actually, that's exactly what I was gonna do. I'm glad to hear that you liked it.
Yeah, sure.
Later.